switching gears, the Boeing situation, it affects us all globally. Airbus, we're seeing clients and airlines around the world affected by this, but Kansas as well. And where are you on the management moves? You think Dave Calhoun is the right man for the job? Was a change needed? When will this be? When will we see the MAX back up in the air?
I appreciate the way that you led into this story, because I'm fearful that there are those who might forget all the things that are a consequence of the inability to get the MAX 737 recertified, safety determined and back in the skies, and providing air service to customers around the world. It is an important one. I represent Wichita, the air capital of the world. We are an aerospace and aviation center. Spirit Aerosystems, which manufactures 90% of mostly the fuselage, but 90% of the 737, is headquartered here in Kansas. And it has huge consequences economically. Of course, the answer is recertification, determination of safety. Let me certainly make it's not a caveat, because it's a central principle of mine. I didn't want anything to be decided when the 737 was grounded based upon politics. It needed to be based upon science and safety. And I would say the same thing in recertification, science and safety. So I'm not asking for any kind of shortcut. But the focus by Boeing in particular and the FAA needs to be getting us to the point. I'm surprised it's taken so long. And perhaps new leadership at Boeing can make this process work more smoothly, be more transparent, get a better relationship perhaps with the FAA, and get this airplane back to where it is known to be safe. In the absence of that, there's a lot of damage being done and will be done in Kansas. Certainly with the lack of manufacturing, Boeing's decision to stop production of the 737 MAX, that means there's a lot of jobs, at least temporarily, at stake in places like Kansas. And certainly, while I mentioned Spirit Aerosystems, there are a lot of small sub-suppliers, subcontractors who work for Boeing in our state and around the country. So on behalf of all those employees who we hope can expect a paycheck every couple of weeks, this needs to be resolved quickly, and hopefully new leadership moves the process along.
Senator, you're on the Aviation and Space Subcommittee. From watching this and kind of seeing how it played out, what's your sense of who was to blame on this? It seems like the new FAA leader thought that he was kind of getting bullied by the old CEO from Boeing.
Well, we've certainly had the former CEO of Boeing in front of our committee. We've had the FAA administrator. We've heard from both. I think generally it's a belief that the FAA is doing its job well. And I think there was a desire to see a stepping up of the efforts by Boeing. I think there needs to be members of Congress, and certainly the FAA, which is the most important factor here, needs to be satisfied. Not only is the 737 MAX safe, but also, I mean, the training that goes with that, the pilot training is appropriate, but also that the culture at Boeing is fully committed to safety. Again, there just needs to be this reassurance that Boeing is the company that we need it to be and want it to be.